Hey everybody, good morning. Get straight here. Go grab yourself something to drink. Come on, man. Thank you, my dear people. Different glasses, tried to switch it up. Jimi Hendrix. I'm versatile. I'm just not a straight. I'm not a straight square. You know I'm not. Hey, a cup of JoJo. Where you going with that cup in your hand? I bought myself a Keurig. I'm gonna try a new coffee brand. Hey, not bad, huh? This video is being brought to you by Keurig and Robert B., who supported my coffee habit with a Keurig. All right, we got, geez, we're up to 260. The subs are going up. It's safe to say the subs are going up. I want to do my best while I got you in the mix to I saw that other Sammy the Bull Mike Franzese. That was a very general vanilla video, and it got 900 views. And I was gonna do a different video, which I'm gonna save, of a Russian defector named Yuri Bezmenov, whether that's the correct pronunciation or not, but very interesting things he had to say about ideological subversion, and that'll be coming soon. Okay. Thank you for your support. Sammy the Bull Gravano, God bless him. Mike Franzese, God bless him. You got the perception of muscle, and then you got the perception of thinker money. And who would you fear? A lot of times through the years, I'm not recognized as a mob guy or anything like that. It's just a label. Like, you just have friends that they did some things, and it's not like a big deal. As far as Joe Blow looking and saying, oh, it's not that. I mean, they get down and dirty. Yes, they get down and dirty, but it doesn't seem like it's even though I was hemmed up in some crazy shit, but that's not the true blue feeling of just, that's Rick, that's Tom, that's Tony, that's Mike, that's Bruno, it's different like that. But you deal with them different ways than you deal with just regular people in society. But thank you, folks. I hope you're having a good week. So Mike Franzese never looked intimidating or threatening or anything like that. I wasn't up his ass. I saw him for, not, a blink of time, a blink where he wasn't trying to be visible. Sammy the Bull was a grunt guy. Good morning, JoJo. Thanks for watching, buddy. The channel's growing. Get higher, baby. So I personally would fear Mike Franzese. That sounds a little whacked out. And good morning, Jamie. That sounds a little crazy, because when you have that kind of money, you can summons muscle, even if it's not within your crew. Thank you for the new subscribers that are coming in here. We're rising up. Yeah, I do try, I admit it, the gangster stories. That one the other day, I did a short little Sammy and Mike, and it was very generic and vanilla. And I looked, it had 900. So, but I do the spiritual stuff because our lives are more than just stories and everything else. We're living our lives, and we have problems and obstacles and trials and tribulations, but we mix it up a little here. I get serious, I get a little immature, but we're just making our ways through our lives. And I appreciate the new people coming in here. I really do, because I like to chirp, 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 chirp. So I say Mike Franzese because when you got probably $1 billion, you can buy an army, and you can buy loyalty. You can buy you can buy when you're paying money up to the other bosses. Why you want to hit that guy? He's sending us 50,000 a month, 20,000 a month. Don't leave him alone. He's the golden goose. And Mike is more of a thinker, cerebral, and Sammy the Bull is more likely, even though he's a thinker and calculator, he's more likely to make a mistake somewhere along the line. And in that world, all you got to do is leave your guard down once, and you're in the East River or anywhere. But somebody asked me, who do you think was Jamie says money and greed is what destroyed the structure. Isn't that like the common denominator in just human behavior also? How much do you want? Because along with money comes what? Power. 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 Power is like an adrenaline rush. And whatever chemical endorphins it releases, but the power is but those that hold power are more at risk for threat, because when you hold the power, someone else wants that power. Yeah, Jamie, the mob systematically or over the years just deteriorated, and it lost the members. Not all of them, but there was just enough. When the RICO Act came, it was just people just ratting on everybody, and it turned into that. It's easy to call somebody a rat, and I've called Sammy the Bull a rat and everything else. And you know what? Yeah, there were guys that just went and did their time, and they rotted till they died in prison. But it's easy to sit back as a Joe Blow viewer, and if somebody was never around that. And you got to realize there's families involved, there's children, and you're thinking, well, do I keep loyalty to the mafia family, or do I keep loyalty to my biological family, my mother, my brother, my sister, my wife, my children? Some people never said a word, and their family visited them at prisons. Some people ratted, and they were having, living with, being with their family. So maybe I've overstepped my boundaries sometimes, because I used to visit some guys in prison that they just took it on the chin and did their time, and they didn't even whine about it. But Mike Franzese had enough money, and he had the power, and he wasn't out there visible. But Sammy the Bull, I see Mike Franzese, I believe, could win in a chess game a mental chess game with Sammy the Bull. Not to say that Sammy's now, not to undermine Sammy the Bull by any means. Sammy the Bull got to where he was because he was a thinker. Sharp thinker, calculating. How do you think these men survived to be 80 years old? You got to dodge 4 other families. You got to dodge some people within your family. You got to outsmart. You got to try to outsmart the FBI until you get caught. Then you got to cooperate. But hey, we would leave it at that. Yeah, they had guardian angels. I've seen my guardian angels, but let's not get spiritual yet because people might flee. They might run for the hills. But hey, you guys, I've been rising up. I enjoy doing this. I don't have that white business dress shirt on like Walter Cronkite. This is Jimi Hendrix. And hey, JoJo, what you doing with that cup of coffee in your hand? I'm going down to do me a video. You know, I do them all a lot. That. Cut. I need an editor. I got $1.64. How much can that get me? I need an editor over here. I need a lighting crew. Cut. I fly by the seat of my pants. What you see is what you get. I don't live in fear because I died, I came back, and fear, I like to have fun. I like to inspire, and I gotta tell gangster stories so I could try to have a sneak in the back door and try to raise up some spiritual stuff. It doesn't mean being a Bible thumper. It means raising your spirit, your thinking, your soul, enjoy, laugh, love, compassion. We're rising up. All right, that's it. Have a nice day. No. All right, so getting back to the topic at hand, Mike Franzese, 72, Burbank, California, ex-mobster, quote-unquote boss, holding all the money. Some say $1 billion. Sammy the Bull Gravano, mafia grunt. But everybody would say, I talked to some old timers and they don't want to come on and do a video with me. And I'm talking, a New York mob, a Buffalo mob, a Niagara Falls mob, a Rochester mob. Don't just think a New York mob family or mob person is more dangerous than a person from the Rochester mob. No, who would you fear more? A New Yorker mobster or a Rochester, New York mobster? It doesn't, by geographical location, does not matter. And I knew people in all the mobs: Buffalo, Niagara Falls, Rochester, and New York. Crazy is crazy, no matter where you are. Crazy is not compromised by location. There's just crazy, treacherous people that could happen to live in anywhere. But the old timer, I asked 80 years old, and it's just like, Marine? What does that mean? What's that? Oh, Maine mobster? Yeah, I mean, you don't take some faction more lightly because you would say, oh, that's the Maine. I was going to say Maine lobsters. Hey, Maine mobsters. You got me. I wouldn't fear the Maine mobsters, any less than I would fear a New York mobster if it came down to that. But the old timers, there's a couple guys that were, during their 80s, late 70s, 80s, that was like, they would fear Mike Franzese more than Sammy the Bull Gravano. Like, because when you got that kind of money, you can buy a fortress, you can buy security, you could be under 24-hour guard, and you got enough money and resources to just track down your enemy and eliminate whoever you might perceive is coming at you. So two guys that were thinkers, but Sammy the Bull, I talk a lot of shit sometimes about him, but believe me, he's a thinker. And I talked about he can't tie his shoe, you know, and that's kind of bad because that's kind of bad. It's bad, I'll admit it. But, well, he didn't make it a cup of JoJo. He read it. So, you know, it's like he really didn't survive. Well, it's like he did survive. You know, I'll have to admit it, because you got to do what you got to do. And when it came down to they were all starting to turn on each other, you know, kind of paranoia and stress. It's just like, here's a guy from 4th grade. He's in my crew, and we're running around, and now he's off the street. The FBI's got him. They're interrogating him. And it's like, I know that his crimes, he could go away for life. And now they got it. Now they're interrogating him. Now you got to wonder, he's got a wife, 3 kids, family, everything else. What's he talking about? Well, he's over there being interrogated by the FBI. What is he talking about? He's got enough stuff on me to, not me personally, but I'm just saying the thinking of what they must have been thinking at that time. I was an errand boy. I went and got bread and milk. So it's like, well, I better rat first and establish something that they will have to defend. Because if you put them charges in first, then they're on the defensive. You know, you want to beat them to the punch. So, but with that being said, Jamie says, I think Gotti feared the Bull was coming for a seat. Yeah. You know, that power where it's like, how do you sleep at night? How does anybody sleep at night in that world? Fear. But there was just, you know, I mean, I'm saying that as I'm looking at it, but these guys just thought, and a lot of them didn't have fear. They just had like rational type of fear, but not irrational emotional fear, where it's like, oh, no, these guys, their minds were set. They're going to rock and roll. They're going to build up and come what may. And they were just set in that mindset. And I talked to a few of them up there, and, you know, I was close to a few of them. I was nobody, but I used to ask a lot of psychological questions. And a lot of them used to come to me and say, Joe, what do you think about this? Whether it was in the relationship or they didn't, you know, sometimes they didn't want to let the rest of the crew and the people to know that they were tripping out on something. But I was pretty good with psychology and everything else. And they'd ask me certain things, but they didn't like have the posture of fear. They didn't have it. That's my sponsor. Forgive me for the interruption. So them people didn't have that, like thinking, because you gotta be really on top of your game. There's no room for fear. Sammy the Bull, well, Gotti was out there talking like John Gotti should have just put that stuff on a billboard. Jeez. Yeah, Jamie, stay sober. I went down in 2014, so I got like 8. But you know what? Who needs to count the years? We're divorced from that. We're regular people. I congratulate you. 10 years sober. I congratulate, but we're just people again. I don't go to the meetings and all that. I divorced it. If you divorced a spouse or you left, why you know, call them up? Oh yeah, we're divorced. I'm all done with you. We don't need to revisit that every day. 60 meetings in 60 days. No, it's over. Bye bye. We're just thinking about different stuff. All that stuff will do is make you relapse. Why revisit the scene of the crime? My name is Tom. I'm an alcoholic. No, you're not an alcoholic, Tom. How, you know what? We're getting off topic, but I just wanted to say something. They go to these meetings that, and they sit in a circle or however they formulate it. And when before you say your spiel, you say, my name's Charlie Brown. I'm an alcoholic. My name is Jane Smith. I'm a drug addict. How? Why in the F? Well, Jane, you haven't done drugs in 6 years. Why are you defining yourself as that? Why are you defining yourself as that still? If you divorced Mary 7 years ago, you don't say, my name is Joe. I'm married to my ex. Why revisit it? The recovery system and the precepts and the theories integrated into those strategies is a farce. It's a farce. You want to do drugs and dope and drink more. You go to those circle jerks. You go to them circle jerks. The only thing that can get you clean, yes, there's support people that might be in your close-knit circle or everything. At the end of the day, only you and your spirit can get yourself clean. You rise your spirit and soul up and you'll stay clean. You can't get it from the outside in. You got to get it from the inside out. And they're building all these recovery systems and these country club casinos, addiction centers, and the taxpayers are paying for that. For these country clubs for drug addicts. Oh, Jojo, you're an ingrate because you stayed. They didn't get me clean. I appreciate they tried in good faith. I appreciate that they tried in good faith, but none of them places got me clean. I got me clean. I went through the system. That's all there is to it. So I'm very popular this morning. But I got a little off topic there about addiction because it is running rapid. And it's crazy that how that their theories are based in failure and the taxpayers are paying for it. So that's that. We kind of went off the road, but hey, I'm versatile. I'm not uptight. I got a new person in here. They follow me. That's it. I got time. But well, that's good, Jojo. You stayed clean, and that. Well, I appreciate the goodwill and good faith, but it doesn't need to be applauded to just be normal. You don't need it. It's in good faith, but you don't need anybody's praise or applause for just being clean and get the demon off your ass. So we'll leave it at that. Joe, I know you're a believer in the meetings, and that's your thing. I know that's what you do. You've been clean. Yeah, that's for you. It's not for me. I don't need to go up there in these places. I've spoke in front of a lot of people at places to major. I've spoke in front of a big group of people. And I fooled them all. I fooled a lot of people there that thought I was going to talk up there and give a speech about traditional recovery system theories and strategies. No, I was doing the speech from a podium, and I was looking up at the lady, and she looked like she was going to faint. But I will tell you one thing: they applauded like there was no tomorrow. You know, you're talking about archaic theories and principles that have been failing since the 50s and 60s, and they're still hanging their hat on that bullshit. No. Because it's an economy of jobs. That is an economy of jobs. And the people were well-intended people. Yes, I'm not trying to slight the people. I'm not trying to slight the people in those facilities. But in the same breath, those facilities are a joke. You're going to throw hundreds of thousands of dollars, build new country club addictions recovery centers for 3% success? Well, Jojo, well, those three people out of 100 are worth it. Well, ask all the taxpayers. That's not for me to decide. That's for the taxpayers to decide whether 3% success rate is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, it's up to the person to quit. It's up to the individual to quit. If they don't want to quit, then just keep going to jail, keep overdosing, keep dying, and everything else. Yeah, I died from it. I came back. Yep. I died. I was dead for an hour and a half, overdosed on the ground. I stayed in the hospital. I was on life support forever. And then I went through that rehab system. And thank you. But you didn't get me clean. I got me clean. Well, how about the 97% of the people that fail in those recovery houses? Is that your fault, recovery houses, that they failed? So you can't take the blame and you can't take credit. Because if it's that way, then you're the blame for all those people not staying clean. So you can't have it both ways. A person has to get themselves clean. That's it. So if taxpayers want to pay big amounts of money, if Sammy the Bull Gravano wants to pay, we kind of got sidetracked there, but that's what we do here. I acknowledge my people. That's all. I acknowledge my people. I'm not a square uptight, whatever. But and sometimes I leave the screen, Jamie. I gotta refresh my coffee. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. I'm the only guy that'll leave the screen. You know, I'm kind of lazy today. I'm very excited that my channel is growing. It's growing up there. Oh, you only got 250 subscribers, Jojo. I challenge anybody to start a YouTube channel and get 3 subscribers in 3 months. It's rough. That's why I appreciate everybody. I'm not a gangster. I'm not a tough guy. I get a little unhinged at times, but we all do. So then we try to find our way through, and how can we rise up? How can we rise up a little? That's all. I ain't asking for much. I ain't asking for much. I said, love, take me downtown. I'm just looking for some fill in the blank. Don't you dare. My car could have drove itself to the city when I was doing drugs. Oh, I just sit back and say, all right, go ahead, car. Take a left there. Boom. Yep. Go up there. Jungle. 1.5 miles. So Mike Franzese had enough money of $1 billion to buy anything he wanted. And, I don't come on here anymore to talk about whether he's lying or not, or Sammy the Bull, because there's really no value in that. And he's got a lot of fans, and he's got 1,000 times more, literally 1,000 times more subscribers, maybe 3,000 more. And I don't want to cause dissension from potential viewers. So I'm figuring this YouTube stuff out, and I'm not going to bash anymore who's lying, who's telling the truth. It's like we got to just come up with good content and good stories. And I think I'm an effective communicator. To be or not to be, that is the question. Though it is noble in the minds of man, are you crazy or are you sane? I botched that. So my coffee is boiling. Let's see if I can burn. My bottom lip is fat because I fell. And I have a speech impediment sometimes. I fell to the floor. I overdosed on coffee, cigarettes, and slot machines. Stood up, boom. If I wasn't happy after that, a week later I did it again, boom. Psycho, chain smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee. Hey, man, my glasses. I got new glasses, and I gotta get the thing there. Thank you, Garcia. Thank you, mi amigo. Yeah. Qué malo querer así a una mujer celosa. You know what that means? It's bad to have a jealous lady. I'm being a little immature. From Spain. Yeah. I'm running an international channel here, folks. This is a very serious situation. Thank you. I talk about a lot of stuff, and I don't know if you've been here before, Mr. Garcia. Welcome in. I talk about spirituality and stuff too, whatever your creator is and everything like that. And I do try to get people in here with the mafia stories, but I want to keep you in there so I can, try to give you confidence, try to raise your spirit up. Don't give up, So good morning, Kurt. And so that's what I try to do here. I don't have an elaborate studio. I have technical problems at times, but we're rising up a little bit. We're rising up. And I try to inspire. I was dead for almost 2 hours. I came back. I'm supposed to be a vegetable. So there are angels and demons. We're not going to go there right now. But do you like the mob stories, Mr. Garcia? Do you like the mafia stories? My subscribers are rising, and this isn't an elaborate production. My introduction is I put the song near the microphone, and that's my 7 seconds of, yeah, okay. Yeah, the rats, thank you for responding, Mr. Garcia. Thank you. I knew a couple rats later on. And I'm always trying to pick their brain about this and that, and these guys were nuts. You call a guy a rat in the street that ratted, you got to be careful. We could sit behind a camera and all this and that, but would you do that on the street? Because these guys are some of them are unbalanced. But I became more sympathetic to the rat, because, I saw the wives with their children in tow going to the prisons to visit their father, the father of the children and the husband of the wife, or the mothers, they're 70 years old, visiting their sons in prison. And then it's like, it could be so much easier if I just told Don Rick over there and let his family go through all that. these are the things that are teetering on people's minds. And the old school mafia, the day that RICO Act came in with Giuliani, that changed modern Cosa Nostra as it ever was known to be and defined. Racketeering, you did this or that, it's 20 years. Because the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, or 40s, 50s, 60s, before the RICO Act, there wasn't a lot of ratting going on. There was not a lot of ratting going on. The RICO Act came along and changed the complexion of everything. If you were talking to somebody that did some kind of thing, they could, and you're going to go do 10, 20 years. And then when you go in there, the FBI comes and visits you. I was going to visit somebody and I had to wait in line because there was an FBI going to visit, an FBI agent going in to visit the person I was going to see. I knew who they were from that district. Hey, good afternoon, sir. How you doing? What's your name? Well, my name is Rudolph. Yeah, mate. It's like, wow. There's an agent going to visit my friend before I get there. It's like, I don't think I'm going to visit him now. I'm going to get back in my car. I'm going home. But no, I had to visit because they remember that when they get out. And I always had my hand out. So like if I put $20 in there in goodwill or good faith in their commissary, and I didn't have nothing, I wasn't a power guy, I was an errand boy, and they'd say, well, you know what, that Jojo, he don't have nothing, he threw me 20 in my commissary, then the guy would be more apt to throw me some bigger money. You gotta hustle. So that it's easy to sit and make armchair remarks and everything else, but you see both sides of it and you can understand both sides of it. But when you're, it wasn't like the 50s and 60s and 70s. If you look the wrong way, you're going to get 20 years. And I don't like talking smack about the FBI, but the FBI did a lot of frivolous things. We're not going to go there, but we're just going to leave that at that. And I mentioned some stuff in my book, They Dead Missed, Amazon Books. That's JoJo when he was a little cup. But it's a memoir about my crazy life. But I was made aware of some of the tactics that the FBI used, and it was like, what? There were mafia bosses, that were in bed with the FBI for years. And it came to be known years later. It's like, how could that possibly happen? So that's that, folks. I appreciate the people that come in here. Mr. Garcia, Spain. Hey, the World Cup and everything's going on. I hope your country wins. Jamie, Leon, Kurt, anybody that comes upon my video, I really appreciate that. And I got some other content coming down the road. So be the kings and queens of your world. Don't give up. Don't give up. The world is a vampire at times. It wants to suck your blood. But Don't give up. Tap into some energy source. Whatever you believe in, tap into it. Rise up. Raise your spirit. Raise your thinking. Raise your soul. If somebody needs help and you can help them, you have the resources, help them. If you need help, don't be a macho man. Now, hey, listen, Rick, I'm tripping out on some things over here. I need to talk to somebody. All right, Jojo, let's have a talk. That's a sign of strength. All right. Thank you, my good people. The subscribers are rising up. We're building a nice community. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. You guys are helping me out. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share, because they're telling me I don't say that enough. I feel like a beggar, but I don't know. So thank you, folks. I'll see you real soon. Stay great, and we'll get together real soon. All right? Go Spain. Take care, folks. See you tomorrow.